Do you have more confidence in the Suns or in the Clippers in Game 3 tonight now that it's in LA?
The answer is the Suns because Chris Paul's supposed to play and Kawhi's not. Well, I mean, the Suns just beat him twice, very close at home. I think on a neutral site, the Clippers could have won. I think at home, the Clippers could have won. That's without Chris Paul. But if you add Chris Paul, who, keep in mind, this is a first ballot Hall of Fame player who has played at an exceptionally high level throughout his career in the regular season and in the playoffs. And Chris Paul is coming off the best series of his career. That's the best basketball he has ever played. Think about that. And he's never been to a finals. He is so thirsty right now, and he's had to be sidelined and watch this team, by the way, win by the skin of their teeth, and he has to be thinking, this team needs me. This is as motivated as can be, all-time great, peaking, joining a team that has won 9 straight playoff games. I'm more confident in the Suns.
Not tonight. Tonight, I'm more confident in the Clippers. I think their backs are against the wall. I think if they lose Game 3, they get swept. And I don't see that happening. These games have been close. They have not had Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, that's an incredible adjustment for them. Everybody's anticipating an upgrade from CP3. He will play tonight. He will be ready. But I think that when you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, listen, Paul George missed those 2 free throws with 8.2 seconds left. No doubt about it. But he was balling up until that point. I mean, he went on his own personal 8-2 run. He ended up with 26 for the game. The previous 4 games, he scored over 30, and he's been playing lights out. Reggie Jackson, I can't say enough about him. He only had 19 the other day on 7 of 15 shooting. He's going to be the difference because I think he needs to shoot more. Reggie Jackson needs to shoot more and get aggressive. With Kawhi Leonard being out, he needs to shoot more. Terrence Mann, that kid, the second-year player out of Florida State that dropped 39 in Game 6 to close out Utah. I think that that's a guy that needs more playing time in this series. I think Ty Lue recognizes that, and I think you'll see more Terrence Mann tonight, and I think that you'll see the Clippers feeding off of this crowd. Max, last week, I've never seen the crowd at a Clippers game like that in my life. I've never seen it, ever, okay? And so it's a different ball game right now. They recognize what's at stake. And to me, to say that the Clippers are going to lose tonight and that's more confident in the Suns is basically saying that the Clippers are going to get swept. It's possible. I'm not dismissing your point because it's a very good one because CP3 is going to be ready. Make no mistake. And the Suns have been balling. We understand that. And I don't think Devin Booker's going to have a game like he had in Game 2. It's going to be closer to Game 1. But I still find myself looking at the Los Angeles Clippers right now. They're not the Utah Jazz. They don't just have one player that can create his own shot and everybody else dependent on him to create something for them. They got multitude of dudes who can create their own shot. And Reggie Jackson is the first name that comes to my mind outside of Paul George. And I think that, along with, with Terrence Mann being out there a lot, I think that the Clippers survive. And they push it to Game 4, threatening to even up this series. Because if they lose tonight, they're getting swept.
Well, look, Mike Conley wasn't available. The reason they only had one dude is injury has basically decided these entire playoffs. Yeah. And if Kawhi was playing, I would not say this is it for the Clippers. But I do think it's it for the Clippers. I think this is it for the Clippers. Now, can they win this game? Stephen A., it's possible that the Clippers can steal a game here, even without Kawhi. They are at home. It was close before. And Chris Paul is coming back. But then that affects the rotation and all those things. Maybe they could get a game. And if they got a game and Kawhi came back for a Game 4, I'm not saying the series is even over, right? But I'm not hearing great things about Kawhi's knee. Are you? No one's telling me, everyone's optimistic. Kawhi's
can you
back.
Stop right there? Can you stop right there?
Yeah.
Max, as an aside, based on the point you just made, does it not bother you? Because it bothers me that we're not hearing more about Kawhi Leonard. It's like game to game. I mean, listen, did he tear his ACL? What's the status?
It sounds like something.
The fact that it's allowed to go game to game. I mean, Kawhi Leonard might not be back until next season.
Right.
I think everybody has a right to know that.
I
think everybody has a right to know that. And this game to game stuff where, all right, he's listed as this. It's almost like they're trying to hide it for the Suns so you can compromise their preparation.
It does have that feeling.
Because you never know. I don't like that.
By the way, it does have that feeling, but Stephen A., that's demoralizing for the Clippers more than anything. If they had Kawhi, they'd still have a chance. They have Ty Lue. This is the comeback specialist coach who makes adjustments and all that. He's not going to be able to overcome a Suns team. Like, you give the Suns a little advantage. They had it against the Lakers because of injury, right? I thought the Suns were going to be a powerhouse this year, but DeAndre Ayton be a little green, right? It was not quite their time. Maybe next year. What happens? AD is hurt and then out. LeBron is compromised. They beat the Lakers. They're down 2-1. They come back and win all the rest of the games. They face a Denver team without Jamal Murray, and they take care of them in quick fashion, sweep them. And now they're facing a team without their best player. And what do the Suns have? What have they done in these playoffs when injury affects the other team? They crush them. When you say if they win Game 3, they sweep, I think there's a very good chance the Suns sweep this series.
Well, both games have been very, very tight. And I'm here to tell you something right now. Reggie Jackson could play.
Sure can.
That brother can play. And he can create his own shot. And Patrick Beverly, you know how much I love Patrick Beverly. He's hitting open shots when they give it to him. Open threes. He's hitting them, so they can't leave him open. Marcus Morris, it's like a roller coaster because he might not do so much offensively one game, but then another game he'll drop over 20. The dude can play.
They shoot the ball very well.
DeMarcus Cousins. Let me tell you something about DeMarcus Cousins. When he gets in the game, he has an impact. And we keep forgetting that this is a brother that before he got injured was averaging 28 a game in the NBA. I mean, listen, to tell me they can't win a game at home. And I know you're not saying that. I know you're not saying that. I know you're not saying that. I'm not saying it either. To me, the bigger question is, can we imagine them getting swept?
Yep.
I don't see the Clippers getting swept.
Chris Paul
and that's
is so
where I'm at
thirsty
with
right now.